Welcome, curious minds, to another deep dive. Today, we're zooming in on something, well, maybe a bit unexpected. It's a market you might not think about often, but it's surprisingly dynamic. We're talking about the global car wax market. Yeah, that's right, car wax. Our mission today, to really get into the Car Wax Market Report 2025 Global Edition from Cognitive Market Research. We're going to pull out the key insights, look at the trends, the forecasts, basically break down how different regions are doing right up to 2033. Think of it as finding out what a shiny car can tell us about the bigger world picture.
It's true. It sounds niche, maybe, but car wax. It's like a quiet indicator. It reflects economic health, consumer hopes, even cultural views across continents. These numbers, they tell a story that goes way beyond just glossy finishes. They show shifts in how people value things, protect their assets.
Okay, definitely sounds like there's more under the surface. Let's unpack this and see what we find. Let's kick things off with the global overview, the big picture, right? The report shows this really consistent story, steady expansion for car wax worldwide. Back in 2021, global sales revenue was already strong, over $816 million.
Solid base.
Yeah, and looking ahead to 2025, that number's projected to climb to nearly $975 million. Then, by 2033, we're looking at a market size getting close to $1.4 billion.
Wow, quite a jump by them.
It is, and this path translates to a pretty healthy compound annual growth rate, the CAGR, of about 4.5%.
That steady climb, 4.5%, it's quite remarkable, actually. It tells us there's this underlying stable demand. It seems kind of insulated from the ups and downs we see in other markets.
Right, it's not like some tech stocks or something.
Yeah, exactly. No boom and bust here. This steady growth, it's driven by really fundamental things. More cars on the road, globally, obviously, people wanting their cars to look good. That seems pretty universal. And maybe a growing awareness that, hey, using protective stuff like wax helps the car last longer, keeps its value up. It reflects like a global value placed on taking care of your assets.
That's a really key point. It's about consumer behavior that stays, well, pretty constant. Okay, so let's drill down now. Let's look at some major regions, starting with North America. Still a huge player, obviously, and the report sees that continuing. Back in 2021, North America brought in over $257 million in revenue. Just that region alone.
Significant chunk of the global total.
Definitely. And by 2033, projections show it pushing towards $412 million. So it's maintaining a solid CAGR, just over 4%. Now, within North America, the U.S., no surprise, leads the way. Its market is set to grow from nearly $180 million in 2021 to over $305 million by 2033. The CAGR there is around 4.5%. Pretty strong.
Consistent with the global average, roughly.
Yeah. Canada also shows really robust growth, climbing from about $27 million in 2021 to over $45 million by 2033. Its CBR is about 4.3%, also good.
Right.
But then Mexico, it shows a noticeably slower pace, growing from just over $50 million in 2021 to about $61 million by 2033. The CAGR there is much lower, around 2.3%.
Okay, now that's interesting. Looking at it big picture, you see these different speeds, even inside one developed region. The strong U.S. and Canadian growth, well, that makes sense. Mature car markets, big DIY car care culture.
Right, people washing their cars in the driveway on Saturday.
Exactly that. But Mexico's slower growth, that 2.3% CAGR, it does make you wonder, is the market just more saturated there?
Right.
Or is it a different consumer approach entirely? Maybe more reliance on professional car washes, detailing services, where the end customer isn't buying the wax off the shelf.
Oh, good point. Or maybe just different economic priorities for some segments. Function over shine.
Could be. It's just a different market velocity compared to its neighbors. Definitely something to watch.
Fascinating difference. Okay, so a bit of a mixed bag in North America, velocity-wise. Does Europe tell a similar story? Or are there different things going on there? Let's pivot to Europe. And surprisingly, it actually shows a slightly higher overall growth rate than North America.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. The European market was valued at over $154 million in 2021. Projections see it reaching over $268 million by 2033. That gives it a KGR of about 4.7%, just a bit higher.
Interesting. So slightly more dynamic overall.
Seems so. And diving into specific countries, the UK is set to grow from around 11 million in 2021 to nearly 20 million by 2033. Strong CGR there, about 4.7%. Germany, huge economy. Its market expands from nearly 14.5 million to over 25 million by 2033. France was at nearly 19.4 million in 21, heading towards 32 million. Now, here's where it gets kind of intriguing. Italy. It shows one of the highest KGRs in Europe, around 4.9%. Yeah, almost doubling its market from over 9 million in 2021 to almost 17 million by 2033. And Russia follows a very similar strong trend, also a KGR near 4.9%, growing from about 17.7 million to over 31 million.
Italy and Russia neck and neck there, growth-wise.
Pretty much. And even Denmark stands out, a robust 4.7% at CAGR, going from just over 6 million to over 11 million by 2033.
So that more dynamic growth in places like Italy and Russia, it really catches the eye, doesn't it?
Hmm.
It suggests that even in these, established economies, there are pockets where car care, specifically waxing, is really gaining steam.
Right, it's not just about having a car.
Exactly. It's about how you relate to owning it.
Hmm.
Maybe we're seeing more car enthusiasts, a growing DIY culture there too, or maybe just, more disposable income, letting people invest in better protection, better aesthetics. It could signal a cultural shift, more pride in how the vehicle looks.
Makes sense. Okay, from Europe, let's turn our gaze to Asia Pacific. This region plays a massive role in the global car wax scene. In 2021, revenues there are over $204 million.
It's a huge market.
Yeah, and expected to expand significantly, over 327 million by 2033, holding a steady HGR of about 4.1%.
So similar overall growth rate to North America, but off a larger base.
Right. And within the region, China is, well, obviously a major driver, growing from over 46 million in 21 to nearly 77 million by 2033. Japan's market moves from over 38 million to nearly 58 million by 2033. Its key GR is a bit lower, around 3.7%.
Still significant growth, though.
Oh, absolutely. India, another giant market, goes from over 36 million in 21 to nearly 58 million by 2033, very close to Japan's projected size. And Taiwan, too, shows strong growth, almost doubling its market from over 4.4 million to over 7.5 million by 2033. That's a 4.5% CAGR.
Mm-hmm.
And you also see healthy, consistent growth in places like South Korea, Australia, Singapore, all showing good numbers.
What's really fascinating about Asia Pacific, though, is the sheer scale and the rapid urbanization that's still happening in many of these countries.
Yeah, the potential.
Exactly.
Yeah.
While the regional CAGR is similar to North America's, the potential for future expansion in places like China and India, it's just immense. You've got these burgeoning middle classes, millions buying their first car, and the whole automotive aftermarket is developing rapidly. For many people there, a car is a huge status symbol, right?
Mm-hmm.
So investing in its appearance with wax, well, that directly reflects growing prosperity, personal pride.
Good point. It's tied into aspiration. Okay, next stop on our world tour, South America. This region is showing notably strong growth in car wax. Revenues were just over $51 million in 2021, forecasted to hit nearly 89 million by 2033. That's a solid CGR of about 4.7%.
Matching Europe's overall rate, then.
Pretty much, yeah. Within South America, Brazil leads. It's set to grow from nearly 20 million in 21 to over 35 million by 2033. Impressive CGR there, about 4.9%.
Strong performance for Brazil.
Definitely. Argentina is also expanding from over 10.5 million to nearly 19 million by 2033. But here's something really striking. Both Colombia and Peru are showing CGRs over 5%.
Over 5%.
Yeah. Colombia is projected to reach nearly $7 million by 2033, and Peru just over 7.1 million.
Those growth rates in Colombia and Peru hitting over 5%, that's really telling. It suggests these emerging economies aren't just seeing more cars on the road. Their consumers are rapidly adopting car care habits, like using wax regularly.
So it's catching on quickly.
Seems like it. Better product availability, retail infrastructure developing, or maybe a rising cultural appreciation for how cars look, especially as people can afford newer ones.
Yes.
It's a clear sign that the market there is maturing and accelerating fast.
Very dynamic picture in South America. Okay, moving on to the Middle East, another region showing promising growth. Started at over $35 million in 2021. Expected to reach over 61 million by 2033. Healthy KGR again, about 4.6%.
Consistent theme of solid growth.
It is. Saudi Arabia shows the strongest momentum here, growing from over 10 million in 21 to over 19 million by 2033. That's a CGR just over 5%.
Another one hitting 5%.
Yep. But what really jumps out, Qatar, its CGR is incredible, over 6%.
6%? Goodness.
I know. The market's smaller in raw numbers, sure. But it's set to more than double, from about 0.7 million in 21 to over 1.5 million by 2033.
Wow.
And other nations like Turkey, UAE, Egypt, also showing notable growth in this region.
Okay, so when we unpack Qatar's, like incredible 6+% CAGR, what's the story there? It can't just be rising car ownership, though that's happening, of course.
Oh, there must be more to it.
It strongly suggests maybe a booming luxury car market. or just a really pronounced cultural emphasis on vehicle maintenance, on appearance. These are economies seeing significant wealth creation,
Right.
and that often translates directly into investing in personal assets, especially high-value cars, where how it looks, how it's protected, that's paramount.
That makes a lot of sense for a place like Qatar. Presentation is key. All right, finally, let's turn our attention to Africa, and this is projected to have the highest growth among all regions.
The highest, okay.
Yeah, the market size there was over $113 million in 2021, forecasted to reach a remarkable $231 million by 2033. That gives it an impressive CGR of nearly 5.7%.
Almost 6% for the whole continent. That's significant.
It really is. Looking at the leading nations, Nigeria is set to more than double its market, from over 33 million in 21 to nearly 66 million by 2033. South Africa follows closely, but with an even higher CGR, over 5.8%, surging from nearly 34.7 million to over 72 million by 2033.
South Africa leading the growth charge, then.
Seems so slightly. And the rest of Africa category also contributes massively. It's projected to nearly double its market size, too, by 2033.
This really brings up a big question, doesn't it? What makes Africa the fastest growing region for car wax? It's probably a powerful mix of things coming together.
Like what?
Well, you've got a burgeoning middle class in many countries. Increased vehicle imports, definitely. And you're seeing the basic foundations of a proper car care industry starting to take root across the continent. Think about the immense pride a family takes in getting their first vehicle, whether it's in Lagos or Joburg. Protecting that investment with wax. It's not just about shine. It's about preserving a symbol of progress, of success.
Yeah, I can see that.
The numbers here, they're just a huge indicator of emerging market potential, where economic development is translating directly into demand for consumer goods like this.
Wow, what a journey through the numbers. We've gone from North America all the way to Africa, a real global deep dive into car wax. So bringing it all together, what are the core takeaways from this worldwide look?
I think summarizing the report makes it pretty clear. The main drivers are pretty straightforward but powerful.
Yeah.
1, just more cars being owned around the world. Simple as that. 2, this universal consumer demand for cars to look good. Aesthetics matter to people.
Right, pride of ownership.
Exactly. And 3, a growing awareness of the benefits of protective products. Preserving value, longevity. These aren't separate things. They're all working together, shaping this really resilient, expanding global market. And I think the other critical takeaway is the regional dynamic. While the established markets, North America, Europe, they show strong, steady growth. It's really regions like Africa, the Middle East, parts of South America. They're driving the highest growth rates.
Yeah, those KJRs were impressive.
They really signal these significant shifts in global consumer habits. New dynamic markets are emerging fast, catching up in terms of car care sophistication and how much people are willing to spend.
It's incredible, isn't it, how each region with its own economic stage, its own cultural factors, plays a vital role in this overall steady global expansion. It really shows how even seemingly small details of consumer behavior can paint a really vivid picture of worldwide economic shifts. Well, thank you for joining us on this perhaps unexpected but definitely insightful deep dive into the world of car wax.
My pleasure.
Yeah.
And maybe here's a final thought for you, the listener, to chew on. Thinking about all these different regional growth patterns and what's driving them. How might future tech change things? Innovations like self-cleaning car surfaces, or maybe advanced coatings applied at the factory, or even environmental concerns about products. How might those reshape the car wax market beyond 2033?
Good question.
What does that imply for consumer values globally? Will people still invest so much in the physical appearance of their cars as the world keeps changing? Something to ponder.
Excellent questions. Really pushes the thinking further. And just a reminder, all the fascinating insights we shared today came directly from the Car Wax Market Report 2025 Global Edition by Cognitive Market Research. Keep exploring, keep questioning, and stay curious. We'll catch you on the next deep dive.